Hey everybody, happy Wednesday and welcome to Sideshow Live! Woo! I'm your host, Wendy Lee, and before we get started, I want to introduce you to my co-host, Josh G, sitting in his fancy, spiffy new news corner.
What's going on, guys? I'm Josh S, but Josh G is pretty cool too.
Did I say Josh G?
It's okay.
Did I say it?
Don't worry. He's
Fire
awesome.
me.
He's awesome. I don't have the cool tat sleeve. It's all right. I'm not all buff, but it's okay. We're gonna have a fun show. We're gonna be doing some geek headlines coming up soon, so it's gonna be fun. Stay tuned.
Look, listen. When you sit over here and you look over at the new spiffy corner, the light shines on Josh so much that he bulked up and so miraculously
It's
has
all
tattoo
lighting.
sleeves.
It's all lighting.
And lost
right?
all of his hair. So, Josh S.
Josh,
Doing it live.
Cool.
All right, guys, we also have an interview with Simon Harding, who's the CEO of New Zealand, who came all the way from Auckland to talk to us and show us some of his awesome products. We also have artist Dave Kellett and Beth Reidmiller here to talk to us. We're going to be taking some chat questions from you guys and play a super fun game. You don't want to miss that. And finally, we're going to take a look at some very interesting products from Insight Editions. And before we jump back into the show with Josh S.,
Hey.
Nailed it that time.
Killed
We
it.
have some giveaways going on, so we want you guys to go ahead and in the chat room, type in !giveaway, and you're gonna learn more about our current giveaways. And with that, let's kick it over to Josh S. and talk about those geek headlines.
Perfect. What's going on, guys? Today we've got a new segment where we're going to take a look at the trending geek headlines from past week. We're going to check out our favorite ones and kind of dive into those a little bit. So, without further ado, let's go into the geek headlines. All right, first up, Warner Brothers Pictures has released a new interactive 360-degree experience for It Chapter 2. That sounds super exciting and very scary. I don't know what 360 experience. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Believe it's like an immersive experience. It is in Hollywood. There's a standby line and there's like but it's I don't think, I'm not sure if it's ticketed event, so you have to like Google that for yourself. But to promote the movie Chapter 2 coming out, you go into the house and I'm not sure
cool.
what it's about. It looks like a fun house. It's like a carnival setting. Look, I love horror and I love everything that's great about it, but I hate clowns. So I got to go to an early screening of It Chapter 2 last night.
What?
I didn't sleep great. The movie's fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It's capped at, I think it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's pretty long, but there are some quite grotesque imagery that's never gonna get out of my head. So mix that with like an immersive experience. Look, it's one thing to see a movie on the screen, right?
But
it's
you got
another.
the clown in your face.
That's a hard one for me.
That is super scary. I'm easily afraid of things, so I might pass on that. But for those of you who are really into that immersive, scary experience, you're gonna want to check that out. So let's move on to our next geek headline. The next one we got is DC released behind-the-scenes look at Harley Quinn adult animated series featuring Alan Tudyk's Joker laugh. I love a good maniacal laugh. I don't know about you, but that sounds super exciting. You're definitely gonna want to check that one out. We've also got Carl Urban, who shared a photo from the set of The Boys Season 2. I am super excited about this, guys. Season 1 was fantastic. Crazy roller coaster of turns and twists. You've got these, self-righteous superheroes who are actually just all power-hungry, evil, just blowing people up. It was great. I don't know if you've seen the show yourself. That's basically what it boils down to. I mean, they got all this superpower, and on the surface, they're kind of worshipped by the people who don't really understand all the backstory and what's really going on behind the scenes, so that's what's so great about it. But Season 2 is going to be awesome. I know Amazon just unloaded a buttload more of money, so it's going to be bigger special effects, more fight scenes. It's going to be even more epic than Season 1 was. And there is a really dope sneak peek teaser trailer for Season 2 already out, so go check that out. Watch this morning. If you've seen the show, you're really going to get something good out of that. So. Cool. Also, we've got Tom Hiddleston, who revealed there will be 6 episodes of Disney's Plus series, Loki. This is super exciting. I can't wait to see Loki again. We saw a little glimpse of him in the in-game where he grabbed the
Tesseract.
The Tesseract, yes. And he used that to travel somewhere, and this Loki is actually going to be that Loki from the movie. So somehow he manipulates time, and I don't know what's going to happen with that, but there are going to be some really cool twists with that. So.
I mean, my question is, why only 6? I would like 20
I
million seasons of Loki.
Seriously.
And thank you, Disney.
We need more. Definitely.
Yeah.
So far, all we've got is kind of a screenshot where we saw that Loki was kind of maybe in the 70s situation. Like it was a shot from a store that looked like the 70s. So I think maybe he'll time travel to then. And also, something to think about is that I know that the original Ant-Man and Wasp, they were kind of doing all their testing with Pym particles during that time period. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a kind of an original Ant-Man and Wasp with Loki, which would be super cool. Don't quote me on that. Let us know in the comments what you think, what characters or villains you'd like to see Loki basically interact with, or antagonists, but that should be really cool. Next, we've got Kevin Smith, who announced he is working on a new anime adaptation of He-Man for Netflix. That's going to be really cool, especially for all of you He-Man fans. Let us know in the comments what you think about that. We've got Matrix 4 is officially confirmed. That is going to be sick. Can't wait. It's been a long time coming, but at least it's finally here and ready to go, so that's awesome. It's confirmed with Lana Wachowski, Carrie-Anne Moss, and Keanu Reeves, so they're all going to be back reprising their roles. She's going to be writing it as well. That's going to be awesome. Sony and Disney seem to be at an impasse regarding the Spider-Man negotiations. That is big news.
Yeah.
All last night, I couldn't sleep. I was just
The internet
sad.
blew up, Josh. The internet
I was
blew
sad.
up.
The Facebook
What are we gonna do now?
Nothing but that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
The
It's
Facebook
taken over. This is just it's
everywhere.
terrible.
It's big news.
It's like Tony Stark dying again, guys. Like that's how bad it is. It's that bad.
This takes back.
We're in crisis mode, okay? Here at Sideshow, we are in crisis. That's where
It
we're
takes
at.
me back to like when Peter Parker was being dusted. I'm getting that feeling all over again. I was like, this
yes.
again, no.
He's slowly
Can we
like
give him a
slipping
third
away
movie?
through your fingers. You're like, Sony, Disney, please, like
It's
figure
so
out your
good
issues,
right
okay?
now. I
Think
know.
about us, the little people that watch your movies. Okay,
We want to
see
give
it.
you our money. Just please
Yes.
play nice
Yes.
and let's figure it out
Yeah,
and let's
so
all just work
Disney,
in
come on,
MCU
guys.
together.
You got 100% of the merchandising. There's still some, there's a lot there, okay? You got a lot going for you. Just keep doing those movies. It will be interesting to kind of discuss, though. Obviously, I think they're going to, find a way to get these negotiations and, get over their impasse. But for the sake of talking points, we could talk about the fact that now, if he's not in the MC universe, does that mean he'll revert to Sony's universe with Venom and all the different villains that come with that? So it would be kind of interesting to see, Venom, Carnage, all those really iconic villains that the MCU wasn't being able to use. Now we might see Tom Holland's Peter Parker interact with those characters because he still has, 2 movies on his contract. So something to think about. Let us know in the comments how you're feeling about this. If you're in crisis mode like us, we feel your pain. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much. That has been Geek Headlines. I'm Josh S. Stay tuned. We'll be doing this again soon. So back to you, Wendy.
Oh, that was so great. All those headlines. You guys give it up for Josh in the chat. Woo! So moving forward, we're going to be showing off our feature collector. And today, that is Steven. I'm going to butcher this last name. I'm going to read it. Steven Napolitano is, I believe I'm saying it correctly. Steven, you are a fan of the Justice League. I see Superman,
Awesome.
Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern, Robin, Batman. See a little Spider-Man peeping out on the corner there. See a little Spider-Man. And who do we have in the middle?
Aquaman and a.
Where do you see Aquaman?
Martian.
Behind? Behind, okay. Yeah, I see that.
That's
What does
who
Sam
that
say?
is. Yes.
Dick
And,
Dastardly in the center.
Have you heard his? It's
It's Muttley, yeah.
Is that
lovely,
your...
yeah. He does this awesome laugh. I love
it
that
again.
laugh. I'm gonna run out of
Now I'll
breath.
put you on the spot.
No, he always does a.
There it is.
If you can hear that,
Make
pick
that a
up.
soundbite, Sam. Turn
Yeah.
that into a
That's what he
soundbite.
sounds like.
This is probably one of the cleanest aesthetic I've ever seen so far on a feature collector. And you guys, if you would like to be a feature collector, just visit side.show/blog and you can find out how you can become a feature collector. We're gonna go to a quick break and we'll be right back with Brad's interview with Simon Harding. See you then.
What's up, guys? WWE host and ring
Julio.
announcer Mike Rome here, and I am standing next to this amazing Ryu. Look at this thing. This is insane. PCS did a crazy job on this thing. Like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, these clothes are actually real. Like, if you were a miniature person, you could probably wear this. Muscles not included, but you could probably put this on. I could not put this on. But even like, oh my God, there's like padding on like his hands. I can guarantee when I was playing this game and getting beat down by Ryu, there was no padding on his clothes. Fun fact, one person I always had a hard time.
We are here right now with...
What's up, guys? WWE host and ring announcer Mike Rome here, and I am standing next to this amazing Ryu. Look at this thing. This is insane. PCS did a crazy job on this thing. Like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, these clothes are actually real. Like, if you were a miniature person, you could probably wear this. Muscles not included, but you could probably put this on. I could not put this on. But even like, oh my God, there's like padding on like his hands. I can guarantee you when I was playing this game and getting beat down by Ryu, there was no padding on his gloves. Fun fact, one person I always had a hard time beating in the game, and for very good reason. His feet are massive. Dude, even his black belt is real. Like, how do you make these clothes? I just looked at his butt. That's the street's butt right there. There it is. Dude, he's so like, there's even veins on his arm, like all the way through. I want to like pull, I want to see what's underneath. Look at this. Look, there's even detail on his pecs. It's crazy. He's looking at me angrily because I'm doing that. This dude is like the only dude that has been in every Street Fighter game. Like I said, I've never really had very much luck with him. I was more of a E-Honda guy, just kind of laying it down like this. But this is like everything down to like the rocks, like the stone underneath. This is crazy. Like, I can't even put into words like how like big this thing is. This thing is huge, like legitimately huge. Like, this is, like, if you're a Street Fighter fan, this is definitely something you gotta check out. Like, watching this in video games and then actually seeing the detail on this thing is insane. Even down to his freaking ear. The detail, like, in his eyes and his eyebrows. He even has good hair as a statue. Like, and look at this. Like, I want a bandana now. I want it. This is, like, I don't know if you can see this. Even his toenails. This is, like, the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, I own a couple statues, but I think I'm gonna take this one. I think I'm gonna have to walk away with this one. You guys go about your day. I'm gonna try to, this, I'll come back for it.
We are here right now with Simon Harding, CEO of New Zealand Mint. Simon, so great to have you here.
Great to be here, Brad.
Yeah, you flew all the way from Auckland.
That's right.
Just to see me, not even for Sideshow.
Of course, Brad. It was, that was the attraction.
6,000 miles. Well, we really, we love to have you here. And I want to hear more about your company, New Zealand Mint. I mean, like, when did you start it? How did it get started?
Well, New Zealand Mint's been around for about 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Different names. And we're a precious metal mint. So what that means is that we make products, including currency, out of precious metal, gold and silver. But we're a little bit unusual in terms of generally mints, like your own US mint, focus on making the national currency of your sovereign state. We try and make things that are a little bit cooler. So we still do make currency, but we try and combine the element of currency with some really cool and iconic figures and brands. So we sort of blend in precious metal the elements of traditional coins with modern brands. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
This coin here is a...
This one right here, huh?
Yeah, that one right there. That's a 1 ounce pure silver coin. And that's actually a Star Wars coin in that it bears the image of the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
If you zoom up on it,
Yeah.
which is a pretty cool coin.
There we go. Yeah.
And
This is my favorite thing on the table. Just by the way, we're getting right into it. I love this thing.
the good thing about it is it actually is a coin. So maybe I need to explain a little bit. A coin has to be money somewhere. Otherwise, it's just a medal or a medallion. So this is actually legal tender. And if we take it out and turn it around, actually you'll see another very iconic figure on that, and that's Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you heard of her?
I've heard of her. Yeah. Maybe there's a few
Popular.
shows about her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is, you can use this to buy stuff. This is actual money, but printed on it is a Millennium Falcon.
Well, this is actual money in the island state of Niue,
Okay.
which is a small island state in the Pacific. It's also part of the Commonwealth, hence the Queen Elizabeth imagery on there. And this is legal tender in Niue for $5. So if you wanted to, you could go and you could take your Millennium Falcon
Yeah.
and you could go and buy yourself an ice cream.
You could-
No way.
And really shock the attendant at that gas station
Well,
for the day.
you'd make their day because this is a 1 ounce of pure silver.
Yeah.
It may have a face value of $5, but you would have paid closer to $100 US. So that gas attendant in Niue will take these all day long. So
Sure.
it may not be the best financial investment you've ever made, but it is a cool investment to make.
Oh, I love it. Yes,
Yeah.
and like, I mean, what inspired it? I mean, of course, it's like you work with metals, but like that spark to move towards, hey, let's make money, cool, because you can.
Yeah,
You know?
it is. I mean, numismatist collectors have always been around, but they tend to be traditionalists. So it's always been about sort of royal babies, national events, anniversaries of important things that we've
Right.
forgotten about. So we thought we'd make it a little bit cooler and celebrate some modern cultural icons. So as well as Star Wars, we have a whole lot of other brands. And precious metal is our median. So we generally deal in silver, so pure silver, 4 nines. We also deal in gold. We do large format gold coins. So if you think you're wasting $100 on $5 ice cream in Niue, we can give you that. We can give you a couple of $1,000 gold coin to
Yeah.
buy a couple of ice creams. or
That'll buy quite a bit of ice cream, I'm sure. Yes.
Well, this is another precious metal product. The next one over. That's
Oh yeah, right here.
That's a gold foil. So that is pure 24 karat gold.
Yes, that's celebrating Batman 80th, right?
So
yes.
it's an anniversary. So I think Batman deserves gold. So that's a piece of gold that is spread out very, very, very thinly. I think from memory that one there is 2 grams of gold. Shouldn't be overselling that, should I? Apologies. 1 gram of gold, but it's got some very cool imagery of Batman, and that's a great canvas for us to work for because it gives us a rectangle of pure gold
Yeah.
to present our cultural icons or our license partners' cultural icons.
Absolutely, and it's interesting too. I've never really heard like it's a coin,
Yeah,
but it's not a circular coin.
that's right.
Which is I never even thought that was possible to not have it look like this, but it's currency. It's flexible, right? Is that what?
Yeah, we
kind of it's
do
about?
coins in a number of non-conventional shapes and sizes. I mean, you've got the coin notes there. There's also a rectangular coin. I think you've got a little bit further over on
Yeah,
that
this one
side.
right here. Yes, this is the Chandra 1 ounce silver coin. Yes.
Yes, it is, and
Yeah.
I think you might even be able to take it out of its box.
Or should I take it out?
Yeah,
let's see
have a look
here.
at it. It's,
Wow.
it's part of the
wow.
test. Oh, you've done well. You've done that before, haven't you?
I've opened my fair share of boxes
Okay.
here, but yeah, this is Magic the Gathering. And then, yes, Queen Elizabeth, if you just want to see that, is on the back again, right? Is that her?
That's it. And
Yeah.
actually, one more challenge for you, Brad. It actually comes out of that box as well.
Oh, another, okay. Shall
But
we?
don't break it.
I got it. I couldn't get it out fast enough. Here we go. Okay, there we go. So that's,
That's the core
you
rectangular
can keep it
coin.
in your pocket, exactly. This is incredible. And I mean, such a collector's item, such a rare kind of special thing. Like this is what sets you guys apart, I'm sure, right? Like,
That's right, and it's so to be a coin, it has to be legal tender. And another thing that a commemorative coin is, a collector's coin, is it has a limited mintage. So a mintage
Right.
refers to the maximum number of these coins which we are legally able to strike. I think from memory, those magic coins is 3,000 mintage. So there never will be any more than 3,000 of those in existence in the world. We'll only ever strike 3,000, and then the dies are typically destroyed, and they'll be never made again.
yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So
Why do they limit it like that? Like, what is the purpose of having a mintage like that?
Well, I guess one of the things about if you're a collector, you don't want everyone to be collecting the same thing as you.
Right, that's true.
You know, in terms of having a value and potentially having an appreciating value.
Yeah.
Scarcity is good.
It's more of an investment.
Yeah.
Exactly, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and it means it hopefully sells out. There are no more in existence. Often they'll form part of a continuity set. So we'll do a series. There'll only be 5 in the series. There'll only be potentially 500 in every coin in the series. The smallest mintage I can recall that we ever did is we did a mintage of 23 for D23 for those of you who are Disney
Oh yeah.
aficionados, D23, and it was just as well we only did 23 because it was made out of 1 kilo of gold. So, our financial controller was only willing to finance 23.
Yeah. What was it? What was on the note?
It was Mickey.
Oh, it was Mickey. Okay.
And it was a gold coin, which is probably about that big.
Yeah.
It weighed a kilo, which is about 30 odd ounces. So today's price, that was about $45,000 of pure gold.
Oh my gosh.
So it provides an
a lot of
outlet
ice
for
cream.
people who really want. For someone who's got everything, this is the thing that you need to get.
Yeah. And that was a couple of years ago, or when did
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah. That's cool. And then this one, the last one of the bunch we're talking about, there's another Batman 5-gram silver coin note, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's a 5-gram foil. So that again is a precious metal canvas that we've used to do classic Batman imagery on, and you can hang it on your wall. You can collect it. It's gives an opportunity to capture some iconic images. See the other one you've got on your desk.
Yes, I mean, this is something to hang on the wall for sure. This is a Superman #1 35-gram silver foil, and this is quite impressive.
Yeah, and that's a facsimile of the #1 Superman comic. It's the same dimensions, but rather than made out of paper, it's made out of pure silver. Some of you who are Superman fans will know that original comic is quite rare. This is an opportunity to have a silver facsimile of an iconic cultural icon at an affordable price, and you can actually slide it out.
Sure.
So
This is like Christmas for me. I just get to keep opening things up here. Here we go. So yes, it is.
So that's pure silver, rolled out into a paper-like thinness,
You can see
and
how thin
then
it is there. Yeah.
printed with that iconic imagery. We provide that sleeve. You've just taken it out, and you can hang it on your wall, or you can stack it with your other comic collections. So we think we're providing fans and collectors with a new medium that captures old icons, and it does it on a basis that's both within reach but has something special about it.
Absolutely. And how do you select what's going to go on the notes? Like, what is your process for finding these images?
Well, back in Auckland, New Zealand, in our offices, we've got this really big dartboard, and no, we do have a dartboard, but
Well, you got to have fun too. But yes.
yeah, we do have to have fun. Look, we try and listen to feedback from fans, from collectors of what they find appealing. Obviously, most licenses have some very strong figures. Obviously, with Star Wars, it's hard to go past the guy.
Yeah, right.
He appears quite regularly, and it's feedback from our fans, our collectors. It's input from some of the license holders, because obviously they're understandably and rightly jealous of what they've created and proud of it and want to present it in the best light. So it's an iterative process, and it's a challenging one. It's because it's one of constantly reinventing things.
Oh yeah.
Because as I said before, the mintage. So we restrict the mintages of all our products. So many organisations, they hit upon the best product, and they think this is really cool. We've refined it. We've now got multi forward, and we're going to produce 20 million of them. We can get the best product ever, but we've said we're only going to produce 5,000 of them. So they go out the door tomorrow, and then we're oh no, we can't do any more of that. We'll have to back to desk buys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, your new is good, and regenerating, your ideas is probably the best way to move forward and why the company's grown, right?
Yeah, and it's exciting. And it's exciting to work with our global partners. It's exciting to be able to work on a global platform. New Zealand's a small place, quite a long way away. And it's great that we can
6,000
project
miles. I looked it up.
You looked it up?
Over 6,000 miles.
To be able to project ourselves onto a global stage and stage our products, and work with some really cool brands and some really cool people.
Yeah.
And to see our product in different places around the world, and you get the odd bit of humour about it. I think we've had a few calls from the Financial Times in London wanting to know what this currency was that we created, and
Yeah, you're just it's not like this isn't cryptocurrency. This is real currency.
This is
yeah.
real currency.
Yeah, and what I love about this is I'm sure for a lot of fans, it's like you're able to making it a currency and presenting it in this way kind of gives these characters the reverence that a lot of fans probably appreciate.
Indeed,
because it's like to see it to see their favorite characters in gold, in silver, in a presentable fashion. I think it's just really cool and different than anything else I've heard of.
Yeah, it's I mean, we've had some of the fans themselves have acquired the product. Sorry, the fans, the characters themselves. It's not a current range, but there's a UK series called Doctor Who, which is a series of Time Lords, and we actually had
it was like really cool.
5 of them in the office that one evening to come and sign their own product and to pick up their own coins, and they were thrilled, and I was kind of pleased as well because I was quite late home that night, and I said, "Look, sorry, I was delayed by the Lords of Time."
Yeah.
And that's just the killer excuse.
Yeah, they should have been
home.
able to shorten it
Sort
for
it out,
you. Yeah. No, that's what a dream I'm sure for anybody to be like, oh, I'm actually on a coin.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just for royals. It's just not just for presidents. One of the doctors can.
Yeah, and every coin that's produced on the what we call it effigy, the Niue effigy, is a royalty earned by the small island state of Niue, so it supports their infrastructure and their development as well. So it's sort of a combination of a lot of different things.
Yeah, and I just want to ask. I mean, is there a favorite piece in your mind where you are like, this is my thing, this is my coin, or this is my thing that you present in your home?
What have I got in my home? I do have some in my home. I don't know. I think I really like we do a 1 kilo Darth Vader coin. So it's 1 kilo. A 1 kilo coin is a pretty cool coin. It's big format. You've got that big image of Darth. It's nice and heavy.
It's how he'd like it, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. He'd like to be the number one. So I think a 1 kilo Darth is probably my favorite.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Thanks for
here.
coming on and explaining what's going on with this stuff. I mean, we appreciate you taking the time, but also I'm just glad I know about this now.
Oh, thanks, Brad. It's been great to be able to share some of these products with you.
Yeah, and I knew you flew just for me, so it just makes me feel good. No, this is fantastic. And you can take...
From our hands to yours. Sideshow.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I want to welcome Dave Kellett and Beth Reidmiller in studio. So before I properly introduce them to you guys, I just want to let you guys know a little bit about them. Dave is the Reuben Award-winning cartoonist behind the all-age comic Sheldon and the sci-fi humor strip Drive. He is also the co-director of the documentary film Stripped, which brings together cartoonists from all eras as they discuss the art form. Dave is also the co-host of podcast Comic Lab, which gives advice to cartoonists all over who are looking to get into comics and how to living off of it. Hi, you guys. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
Welcome back. And real quick, I just want to mention Beth Reidmiller. You weren't here last time. You're the the colorist who worked with Dave, correct?
Yeah, he's colorblind, so...
The one downside about being a colorblind cartoonist, you work great black and white, but then as soon as you go to color, people are like, hey, interesting choice on the purple sky. And so Beth saves my bacon day in, day out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're like the team.
Yeah, Beth,
the dream team.
Beth has been amazing. Like she's been in the studio now for 2 years, and we produce, like you said, Sheldon and Drive and a bunch of other projects. And she helps out with the books, with the merch, the product designs, all that stuff. It's been amazing to have her. Yeah.
You're like a super colorist.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You do it all.
That is the super skill. Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. So what have you been up to since the last time you visited us?
So it's been a while since I've been here. A lot of projects, new books have come out. We're about to launch another book coming, another possible video project on comics coming down the pipe that I can't quite announce yet, but I can tease it. So it's been a busy, good couple of months, couple of years there. there. It's been good.
Yeah, amazing. We actually have a book right here if you want to talk about it.
Sure. Yeah, this one is the most recent one that came out. This is pop culture, and it's so titled because it's all the comics I've ever done on Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, DC, Marvel, and it's kind of perfect for the Sideshow crowd because it's right in that wheelhouse. It's basically every nerdy, geeky joke I've ever done in one full-color book, and
amazing.
It came out awesome. We're really proud of it and how it came out, so it's great.
And actually, with this book, you are going to be joining us in the Facebook group later on today.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that.
And you're going to be looking at, from what I'm seeing, the Advanced Suit Spider-Man.
Yes, if you want to see me revert to being a 9-year-old boy, tune in because that will be very exciting.
It sounds like fun, and you guys should totally tune in because this book will be one of the giveaways.
Yes,
giveaway,
absolutely.
Right?
I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Yay, awesome. And for Beth, what made you pursue a career as a colorist?
I kind of fell into it. I mean, I went to school for art and was doing fine art and illustration and stuff, and had been a fan of Dave's for a long time. And I think because of Twitter and meeting him at cons and stuff, he emailed me one time. I was like, "Hey, you want to try coloring?"
What? Is that how you? Is that the story how you met?
Yeah, it's one of those rare stories where a reader becomes part of the production process, I guess.
It's not normal.
Yeah, it's not the normal way you would do it.
Don't ever
But
try
no, the
to
truth is, Beth had been, I do a convention up in Seattle called Emerald City Comic Con, which I'm sure a lot of people know. And Beth would come up and slowly be like, "Oh, so what are, over the years you go, so what kind of art do you do?" And you showed me one year your art.
You asked.
Far,
I never.
far better than any art that I've ever produced. And I was like, wow, you've really got talent. And then when my last assistant left, I don't remember how we reached out, but I said like, hey, if you're still interested.
Oh God, internet's amazing.
I know,
Yeah.
right? And I was like,
Yeah.
I've been reading your comics for like 12 years. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
And it's worked out great because we have
it's
it's important when you're working in comics to have people that have similar senses of humor and sensibilities, and it's been a really nice mesh. So it's worked out great. Yeah.
That's so great. Look at that.
I know.
Yeah.
Who knew?
And like I had been like the day jobs, I'd been like an admin and like production and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, I can do your spreadsheets. Let's do this. So
Well, that's why you're so good at
And
the
as a
organization
cartoonist,
stuff
anybody
too.
that could even remotely do
So you
numbers,
hire
like, you take
someone
that.
without knowing like a total bonus. She's like the package deal. She
Yeah,
does the colors
exactly.
and she can
She can do Excel, so that's that.
Excel is not easy because I do that too. It's when you like mess up on a formula, it's all done
It's a
and you
lot
have
of-
all
Oh
these,
yeah,
like,
it all cascades down into
Yeah,
that.
you're
into
just
that
like,
Excel
why is
sheet.
everything
a lot of
I
Googling,
broke it.
like, why isn't this working? You're like, aha.
exactly.
So it's really fun, and so that's why we got another book that we'll be kickstarting in like 2 weeks that Beth's putting the finishing touches on now, and that one's going to be all about making fun of different authors in history. So that'll be fun. So it's been a fun. It's been a 2 years in the studio. It's been really good.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last time you were here, we talked about your documentary.
Yeah, Stripped. Yeah.
Can you talk about and think back to some of the interviews because you had so many interviews? Some of the most fun, memorable interviews.
Yes. So for me, growing up, the big titans of cartooning were sort of, the Mort Walker does Beetle Bailey, Bill Watterson does Calvin and Hobbes, and going into the Peanut studio where Charles Schultz worked was amazing. Getting to interact with Bill Watterson of Calvin and Hobbes was amazing.
Yeah.
Getting to go to Mort Walker's studio, which is the original home of, I'm going to mispronounce his name, the guy that did Mount Rushmore, Gutzon Borglum, I think was his name. But he carved this house out of living stone, and that's where Mort Walker lives now. Like, you walk in, and it's like if you turned a gigantic 7,000-ton boulder into a house, that's what that house looks like.
What
Like,
in the
oh, wow, this is
world?
like not normal to have this kind of house.
And that's amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun. So just being able to talk to like my childhood heroes was the best part. But then also getting to talk to my peers, because we interviewed everybody from their 20s to their 80s and talking, and they all had a shared love of comics and cartooning, and it was really kind of a special and fun project to work on for that reason. Yeah, it was really awesome.
And through the process of making this documentary, do you have any fun memories or stories that you can tell us?
All sorts of fun memories.
Top 5.
My favorite, and my co-director Fred Schroeder loves to remind me of this, is that we went to go interview Greg Evans of Luann comic strip fame. I don't know if you know Luann, but he lives in a very warm spot in California, I'll just say that. And I left an In-N-Out milkshake in the dashboard of my car.
Mm-hmm.
We went in and did like 6 hours of interviews. I came back out, I'm like, ooh, I forgot about my milkshake. I'm going to dive right into that. He's like, no. And I just dove right into that milkshake like a dummy, like a big dummy.
Dave, no.
And then I went like, about half an hour from home, like, I'm going to try one more time. He's like, what are you doing? Why are you going back in? Leave it alone. So we have a lot of food-related jokes from 3 or 4 years of filming that movie. So that was a weird memory to bring out. I don't know why I brought that one. But no, No, it's just the most fun for me was when Bill Watterson got involved with the documentary of Calvin and Hobbes. And after he'd done the interview and after he'd watched an early cut of the film, I said super humbly, like, hey, would you ever maybe kind of possibly consider doing the poster for the film? And he said, I would love to. It'd be the first cartoon that I've done in, 15 years, 18 years at that point?
Oh my gosh.
And so he sent the artwork, but he mailed it just in a manila envelope. No cardboard backing, no plastic. Just an original Bill Watterson piece of art in a manila envelope.
No production.
Send it to California. And I was like, Bill, what are you doing?
Was it okay?
Yes, thank God it was all right. But
bonus to your postman.
I sent it back to him like quadruple wrapped, styrofoam in a box carried by elephants, hand delivered. But I love that he had sent it. It was so generous of him to do it. And then it also kind of speaks to his humility as an artist, where he's like, this is fine, just a manila envelope, doesn't deserve more than that, and he sent it along. So that was probably one of the highlights of the film, though.
Oh my gosh.
Interacting with him. He was great.
I can't believe you just mail such an important art piece.
I know, literally.
Didn't think about it. Just
Bill,
like,
that could pay for my kid's college. Don't put that in a manila envelope like that.
For so much on
so
auctions.
much.
So like that was.
He's just kind of like, oh, by the way, I just sent it, no production needed.
Yeah,
Thanks.
exactly. It's got a 32-cent stamp on it. That's fine. That's all you need. But so the film came out great, and actually that we enjoyed that process so much that we have, and I don't want to tease too much about it, but we have an upcoming project that we're going to do because we loved basically sitting and talking with cartoonists about the craft that they love so much, that we're going to do another project, and I won't say more than that, about interviewing cartoonists. So knock on wood, that'll be announced soon, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You mentioned a little earlier that you're colorblind.
I am, yeah.
So my question is for Beth, what is it like to work with Dave on a daily basis when you color for him?
Oh, so much freedom.
You really whatever you want.
He's like, I was like, what do you think? He's like, I don't know. So it's great. I mean, yeah, that's the wonderful thing is like Dave's not like really that picky about it. He's like, I trust you, go and do it. So it's great. It's super fun.
Well, also like I think we try to do, and this is true for both of us, is that. But for me especially, you try to hire someone that's as good or better than you, and then give them the freedom to do what they want to do. That way, you have a personal investment in it and enjoy it. So
and every now and then he'll be like, "Oh, I was kind of imagining this," and be like, "All right, sure."
Yeah, and sometimes, exactly. There's sometimes subjective choices that are parallel, but Beth is amazing and absolutely elevates every cartoon that she colors. It's
so amazing.
But
also on Drive, it's all just shades of blue.
Oh, okay.
So it's a monochrome color story. So it's more just coloring in tones. And so every now and then we'll be like, oh, I thought about this. Oh, but I actually thought that. So that drives a little more his vision.
Yeah, I kind of like that it does open the conversation for freedom and discussion and kind of like, great, better artwork I feel can be born from something like that than just like hard set rules of X, Y, Z.
Yeah, and for cartooning, which is a career that's kind of siloed in that you're working for 99% of your career, you're working by yourself at your desk, and it's kind of fun for me for friends that are either actors or filmmakers or work on stage or theater where it's more collaborative and there's the give and take. It's fun for me now in kind of a later stage of my career to go, here's a thing, and then she hands back and she goes, here's a very different thing, and it's fun to see that collaboration where. And we've slowly developed a language of like what I'll draw to let her do a certain thing that I know she's good at, and she will sometimes color a comic in a way that highlights something that the art never could have done in black and white. And it's a nice dance. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's so great teamwork.
Yeah, it's fun.
So Dave, recently Jim Davis sold Paul's Incorporated.
Yeah, sold Garfield basically.
Yeah, the rights to Garfield to Viacom. So as an independent cartoonist, what does that headline mean to you?
Well, there's a lot. So first of all, we interviewed Jim Davis in Indiana. He's got pauses out in the middle of nowhere in like you literally are cresting a hill as a Californian, and you're trusting your GPS, and you're like, I'm in the middle of a soy field. There's nothing out here, and then you crest a hill. It's like this giant 14-story building, not 14 stories, but it's very big in the middle of nowhere. And he had 65 employees working on Garfield there. And I was always impressed with him in kind of a Walt Disney way that someone could take a comic strip and build a whole empire out of it. And so he gets a lot of grief, and I understand why that grief is given. But I think I always kind of respected him for what he was able to build with Garfield. Yeah. And for me, it's kind of the end of an era of newspaper comics because nothing will ever come this way again that's that big with comic strips. I mean, Garfield was billions of income. And I think he's just reached an age where he wants to pass it along. And I personally, I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
It is interesting. I mean, we're just in the age of licensing, and everything is now a universe. So, like, sure, he's handing on Garfield to a new generation. So,
Yeah.
And I think Garfield does get a lot of flack nowadays, but it's like it's made for kids. Like, young kids love Garfield.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Young kids think it's hilarious, and so that's great. So bring it to a new like animated generation that are watching stuff on Netflix and stuff. Like, why not?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of nice too that an artist, and this is not a morbid thought, but as you get towards the end of your life, it's nice to be able to pass it off in a way that you're comfortable with. So I'm happy that he found a way to pass it along.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting time though, because it definitely is
Passing the torch.
the end of an era for those newspaper comics, because that's the last big hurrah. you know?
Yeah, I know. You know, it's crazy. We were talking before, we jumped into the segment of where I'm originally from, which is Taiwan. So learning English was kind of an obstacle I had to overcome, and it was through newspaper comics.
Yeah,
a lot of it.
That's true for a lot of folks.
Because
yeah.
it was entertaining, so it wasn't just like reading a textbook of only letters and
Right.
words, and it was like pictures, and you kind of as a kid understand. So like Garfield, Kathy, like all of those have a very special meaning to me.
Yeah, so as a cartoonist, one of the things, and as a parent, one of the emails that comes in kind of frequently that means the most to me is like, I have a really reluctant reader in my house. It's my 6-year-old, my 5-year-old, my 7-year-old, and your comics have helped encourage him or her to really start reading. And that means a lot as a cartoonist and a dad. That you can, because I know what that's like when you're trying to get a kid to read, and there's the thing that sparks it. You're like, "Thank you, author," or "Thank you, piece of work." Yeah, I'll buy you all these books. You can have
like early grade comics and middle grade comics. They're big right now. It's a big thing. So it's like, sure, expand that world. Why not?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like Garfield had always been on the merchandising train, so like it's not like he's selling out at the end of his life. Like
Exactly,
it's just the next step. So.
Can I tell you a fun Jim Davis story real
Please
quick?
do.
So Fred and I were touring the Paws studio, and we walked into the merch room, which is like all the licensed Garfield stuff in the studio. And it was about the size of 2 high school basketball gymnasiums, or maybe 1.5, right? I don't want to overdo it. And we walk in, and it's all products on shelves displayed as though it's a massive Garfield store.
Oh my gosh.
And I go, wow, Jim, good for you. This is every Garfield product ever created. And he kind of puts his hand on my shoulder, and he goes, oh, David, this is this year. And I was like, oh!
And just like that, mic drop.
Yeah, just like, I'll be downstairs having an espresso, thanks very much. Just, you keep, but it was great to look at like Funyuns in like Magyar, it was like Budapest Funyuns with Garfield on them, and it was like the weirdest collection of products from all over the world. It's amazing.
That's just this year's though.
Yeah, just this year's, but
this
here's
year.
Garfield toothpaste from Japan if you want some. So that's great.
Amazing.
It was really cool though.
Oh my goodness. So before we move on to our fan questions, final question posing to the both of you. How do you let your geek side show?
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
I mean,
Do you want to go first?
Loaded
every
question.
way. I mean, it's not like I hide it.
Well, you and your husband just had a D&D game this weekend, right?
Yeah, my husband and I play in D&D a lot. He DMs. We have 2 different friend groups who do it, and then he plays another game stuff. So he knows this, so this isn't like spoiling a secret. But I think I'm going to make him a personalized D&D screen for some holiday. Although it's hard to make it a surprise because like living together, you can't just like work on like a 40-hour piece without him knowing.
Yeah, he's gonna
So I told him, I was
on?
like, I think I'm gonna do this. He's like, oh my gosh. So yeah, that's probably the most currently. But,
What's your character?
so I play 2 different characters. I play a halfling wizard named Uma Kachuli. So when it's spelled, that says actually, because she's a total know-it-all. So she's fun. And then my other one
so much.
is a Goliath fighter named Benny, and she does not think, she just punches, and it's very fun.
Amazing.
So 2 very different characters.
That's delightful.
I love
That's
it.
delightful. But as a cartoonist, like 99% of my life is me geeking out. So like the fact that I get to do comic strips like this book that makes fun of Star Trek and Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and DC and Marvel and all that sort of stuff, like every childhood nerddom that I dove into, it's awesome. I love being able to make fun of all of them. It's great. So
we always in the studio are always like, oh, did you see that? Whatever, insert
And start
latest
just drawing
whatever,
like a little
and
yeah,
just-
it's
we're
great.
just
It's great to
talking
be 2 nerds in a studio because you're just talking
about it. We always
geek
like
shop all day
watch
long.
the newest trailers.
It's
We're
like you're
"Ooh."
not working.
Yeah,
really is.
absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's great.
Let's go ahead and jump into some of our live fan questions.
Sure.
This one comes from Grand Knight Grizz, who writes to Dave, do you still read other webcomics? And if so, what are some of your favorites?
Ooh, do I still read some web? Absolutely. So Some of my old favorites are still on the docket. So I still love Brad Geiger's Evil Inc. I still love Chris Straub's Chainsaw Suit, and I love Brood Hollow. They're both delightful. Scott Kurtz's PvP I love. In fact, Space Trawler, another sci-fi strip like my comic strip Drive, is delightful and humorous and wonderful. So it's not as much as I used to when I was in my 20s before I had kids, when the time was endless, you know. But now it's limited down to a more tight core of comics. But what do you read of webcomics these days?
I honestly don't read that many just because time. Again, I
Yeah.
don't have kids, but
Yeah,
I use my time also. But my forever favorite will always be Carl Kerschel's Abominable
Oh
Choice
yeah,
Christopher.
Carl Kerschel is
It's
great.
so good. He draws how I want to draw, so I adore it. And it's also just a really sweet, wonderful story.
Yeah, but I will say this though, for anyone interested in trying out new webcomics or that want to dive into comics on the web, a really good starter point is a website called Fleen, FLEEN.com, and they have a whole listing on the right side of the webpage that has, I don't know, 100
So
webcomics
many of them, yeah.
that are really great and nicely curated, and it's a great jumping off point for anyone interested in jumping into webcomics. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Little baby step into the
Yeah,
the world.
But thank you for that question. That's
Yeah.
great.
Hi, Gary.
Yay! Our next question is for Beth, and it comes from Alex, who writes,
boy.
"Who is the biggest colorist influence on your career?"
Oh
Ooh.
my gosh. I am terrible at remembering names, and
So this is gonna be a great
it's gonna be
answer.
great. But no, Matt Hollingsworth, he colors a ton of comics, and
Yeah, yeah.
he's incredible.
Yeah.
He does a really interesting, and he probably works really closely with the ink artist, I would assume. But he does really interesting, like layering over ink and working like it all in, so it's not just black on top of color. He's incredible. And then and now I am forgetting the name of the colorist. It might be Matt. Now I'm like, they're all mixing in my head. But the guy who colored Matt Fraction's Hawkeye is incredible, and it might be Matt Hollingsworth, and I can't remember. But I think in the first trade he did a whole layout about how his process, and he took all the thumbnails of all the pages and did just a broad color of all of them at once, so they all blend into each other. He's incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big fan.
Incredible.
And I will chime in just to say, even as a colorblind person, I always like Fiona Staples on
Oh,
Saga. Her ability to create shape and depth and size with color, no line art involved, but
Does
just
she color that?
I
that
believe
as
she
well as
does her own coloring. Yeah,
Come on.
she's amazing. But yeah, that's also great. But yeah, that's a fun question too. Thank you.
Yay! Our next question comes from Joe, and this is for the both of you.
boy.
Okay.
Important question. What is the best breakfast cereal and cartoon pairing?
Joe, you've stumped us. All right, well, so first of all, just hands down, and I don't think anyone in the room would fight this. I think Captain Crunch is a solid
I
choice.
would fight you.
What would
Fruit
your
Loops,
Fruit Loops?
hands down.
Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops is what you get when you check into a hotel and it comes with a breakfast.
Yeah.
There's Fruit Loops, and it's the thing that you grind and it fills your
Fruit
bowl.
Loops, yeah, exactly. I ate so many Fruit Loops in college when I just needed to study and just need to eat while you're studying. I just bowl of Fruit Loops.
Wow.
Big fan.
Well, we're done. Anyway, this has been the end of our employment here today. On the,
I will say Fruit Loops and the 90s X-Men comic.
Oh, the
Ooh.
90s X-Men comic. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I'm going to say Captain Crunch and a really solid episode of Thundercats. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's my childhood in a nutshell
Crunching
right
with
there.
Thundercats.
Yeah,
With Dave
crunching
Buck.
with the Thundercats, just snarfing away.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
So yeah, that's. Thank you for the weird question. Though. That was fun.
Okay, little changing things up a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly.
Our next question comes from Robert, and this is also for the both of you. What is your favorite 80s cartoon?
Oh, 80s cartoon. Oh, that's going back a ways. So the 80s were filled with weird licensed comics where you'd be suddenly you'd have Q*bert, right, and Pac-Man, and did G.I. Joe start in the 80s? I guess it did, right?
I think it's early 90s, right?
Early 90s. Well,
I don't remember.
so for me, the 1-2 punch was G.I. Joe and Transformers. That might not be 80s. That might be 90s. But I loved those two. They were both ridiculous. I loved how the censors, either on the brand side or on the content side, said when G.I. Joe, when somebody shoots somebody at a ship, they always had to show a parachute coming out of the ship. I don't know if you ever saw
Yes,
that.
that's
So no one ever died on G.I. Joe. Literally it was an A-bomb coming in. They're like, oh, we're all parachuting out. We're safe. But that would be my favorite. So what was your...
So I'm gonna.
You were
plead-
not a child
I'm
of the
gonna
80s
plead
and
the-
90s.
Well, I was born in the 80s. I'm gonna play the fifth because I was born in the 80s, but we didn't really have a lot of TV growing up, so I don't have a strong.
Oh, really?
Foundation of cartoons, unfortunately.
Not even a terrible one like the Snorks or anything? Or...
Oh, I mean.
Do you remember the Snorks? Did you ever see the
I don't
Snorks?
think I remember
They were the Smurfs underwater.
What?
It was a
Wait, is this a
weird
real
and
thing?
it was a weird and terrible idea. Everyone look for YouTube for a trailer of
Was
the
it on
Snorks.
TV?
It was on TV. It shouldn't have
Snorks.
been, but it was on
I remember
TV.
Smurfs.
Yeah.
Smurfs, yeah,
Snorks.
beautiful European
Underwater.
tradition, but Snorks is like, let's put them underwater. Let's take the Smurfs and put them
I
underwater.
will
That's
say,
what
Fraggle Rock, I do. I don't know
Oh,
if that was
Fraggle
HBO.
Oh, but that was
Rock.
HBO, wasn't it?
HBO.
Oh, really?
Wasn't
It's the
Fraggle on
puppet show.
I think
HBO?
PBS
The puppets,
ran them.
right?
Yeah,
Oh, did they?
Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
I thought HBO. Well,
I don't
anyway.
know.
Oh, I don't remember.
I like that the
but-
No TV fan was like, give the kids HBO. That's fine. That's,
Yeah, I mean,
Premium
like
quality.
Muppets always, like, yeah, Muppet
Yeah.
stuff was always.
Oh, yeah,
totally
the
cleared
Muppets.
on. Yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah,
Yeah, the Muppets.
In fact,
Christmas shows
one of the nicest compliments people ever give me about Sheldon, this comic strip, is that it reminds them humor-wise of the Muppets, because that's that kind of joy and optimism
Yeah.
that Henson had,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's actually I
Yeah,
might
Muppets
say
are-
Muppets doesn't qualify as a comic, but
Yeah, I mean,
The
the,
cartoon,
Muppet
rather?
movies always will
Yeah,
be forever. And
those are
Muppet,
great.
The Great Muppet Caper.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh,
Perfect.
yes.
oh yeah, Happiness Hotel. But thank you for that question. That was a fun one.
Yay! And the next one comes from Alex. And have either of you read Garfield minus Garfield?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And I put Jim Davis on a pedestal over the fact that he saw it and he allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
said, let it go forward. And I think that's great. Because, like,
Yeah.
if that was a different kind of a company or a different kind of an artist, they would have shut it down. And Jim Davis didn't. He thought it was delightful. And I think that,
Yeah,
to
and
his credit, that's
it
awesome.
brings like this wonderful existential.
Dread of,
weird-
like,
yeah, it's
sadness
like-
and dread. And
It's so good. It totally, yeah, it takes an existing thing and makes it a new thing by subtracting a thing. It's great. I think it's
great,
It's
yeah.
hilarious and wonderful, and yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And what a high compliment when someone, like,
Yeah.
takes your art and basically memifies it into a whole
Yeah.
thing. That's
I
delightful.
think
but
it's,
yeah,
if, it's,
if
if
it
it's
was-
good and it, you have like good intention
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
in good sport and all that stuff, like I
Yeah.
think
it does feel like any other creation though, the creator would shut that down quickly. So yeah, good on Jim
I think it
Davis
really
for, like-
depends on the person and that kind of speaks to Jim's character.
Yeah,
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 absolutely. It's very
absolutely. Yeah, that's fun.
Okay, you guys ready for the final fan question?
Ooh,
Oh, final
boy,
fan
let's
question.
do it.
All right, let's
This
do
one
it.
comes from Anne-Marie, who writes, favorite comic strip growing up and favorite now.
Ooh, wow, that's a good one.
Spot.
Well, favorite one now, the one I enjoy reading the most right now, is probably not actually a comic strip. Saga from Brian and Fiona Staples is amazing. I'm really enjoying that as a story, as the way they're laying it out, how beautiful it is. I know that's not satisfying that it's not a comic strip, but that one happens to be my favorite comic. And then as a kid, it was kind of the triumvirate of me of either The Far Side or Bloom County or Calvin Hobbes. So that's what made it so special to be able to interact with Bill Watterson, because Calvin Hobbes was so fun. But how about you?
I always really like Sherman's Lagoon and Mutts.
Yeah, Sherman's Lagoon.
Mutts is great too because there's a dog. Love dogs. And then currently, I'm really enjoying again Carl Kerschel's Isola. Not a strip, I know. There's
Yeah.
just not many like strips anymore that are.
But that one was up for
Yeah.
3 Eisners this year, so
it's
that's also a good recommendation.
beautiful,
Yeah.
highly suggested. But yeah, I mean, read comics on the floor like every other kid, so that it is a little sad that like newspapers are not
I know.
what they
Yeah.
used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's a renaissance, you know how things go.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Bring paper back.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for answering
Thank you
all
for
the
having
fan
us.
questions. But you guys don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with Beth and Dave because we're going to play a super fun game. You don't want to miss it. Thank you.
Awesome. That was fun. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I'm so glad I didn't pull names out of my head.
I know. What do you got,
did.
Matt?
Welcome back. We are still live here at Sideshow Live. We're getting ready to play this awesome fun game, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce our competitors. First up, we have Dave Kellett. Woo!
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We have Beth Reidmiller. Woo! And from Sideshow's own, Dennis Bauer. Yay! So you guys, we are going to be playing SuperFight. And I'm just going to go over the rules real quick so we can all understand. It's really for me to understand because I believe you guys have already talked about this already. So each player will pick 3 character cards and 3 attribute cards, and you will have 10 seconds to choose to choose 1 character card and 1 attribute card to create the hero that is most likely to win in a fight, and then you will be drawing that character.
Gotcha.
That hero that you created. Dennis, how do you feel right now because you're sitting next to 2 artists?
Well,
I believe in you.
But Dennis is
I believe in you.
Dennis is an artist.
You're an
so I haven't.
2 other competing artists.
Yeah, I actually just told them I haven't drawn anything professionally in like 4 years, but I'm ready for this.
I think he's saying that to throw you guys off.
Oh.
I like to stir a little controversy.
be.
But every artist, as you know, works best with a dry erase marker. So
This
you're
is-
gonna
And
find
the
that you're
thick one.
yeah, exactly. You're jumping right back into the deep end. Which is
Dave,
great.
I'm gonna hand these cards to you. You're gonna just pick 3 of each.
All right, and should I announce them as I pick them? Is that the
How do
preferred?
we
No,
wanna
I
do
shall
that?
not announce them. Sorry.
Gotta
So
know.
I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna pass those down to Beth,
All right.
and then I will pick
I'm gonna pick
the
from the middle of the stack.
1, 2, 3. All right, here we go.
And they were shuffled nicely beforehand.
Oh boy.
So serious.
This is
This
serious.
is serious business.
You guys are gonna get like an egg, and I'm gonna get like KS2O or something ridiculous. So, like I have to draw a really detailed character.
Ready and go. No, just kidding. We haven't started yet. We haven't started yet.
All right.
All right.
So do we reveal their? Okay, you can now look at your own cards
Okay.
and pick 1 character card and 1 attribute card. It makes me wonder when
Boy.
Beth is laughing like that, what is on her card and how she's gonna
There's
draw
so
them.
many good options. So
Oh boy. Oh, this is.
I want to combine all 3 of these onto 1 character.
No one said anything about like not including Easter eggs. So
right.
if you have
True.
the time to include that
There
into
we
your
go.
drawing.
All right, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go, team.
I'm
Dennis
ready.
is
I have
pensive.
found my.
I
I
am-
have found my.
This is
Do we announce
this
what
is
they
the way to
picked
make
or
a
no?
comeback
Okay.
right here.
Oh boy.
The reveal at the end. Okay, so
Alright.
I mean, a
everybody
lot of
ha-
people throw out words like Da Vinci or Picasso. Be prepared for greatness from me with these 2 cards. I'm saying that right now.
Oh yeah.
Smack
yeah.
talk has begun.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the smack talk
Smack
begin. Here we
talk.
go.
Where's the mic? Just
We should
I want to
just
drop
call
it before
Disney
I've drawn
'cause
it.
it's property.
I'm unhooking a mic and dropping it. Don't mind me, everybody. Hold on, I just need to unhook this.
Is everybody ready?
We're ready to
We're
go.
gonna get the timer of 2 minutes going, and in 3, 2, 1, draw.
Oh boy.
I feel like we need like racetrack music or
Yeah.
something
Or like Benny Hill
Right,
music.
right,
Oh yeah. I can kind of peek a little bit at what everybody's doing, but I also don't want to like be too surprised. I have to say, Beth is definitely utilizing her dry erase board space.
Oh,
Like if I were to
interesting,
draw,
interesting.
I'm so contained sometimes when I'm drawing. They're like, "Why didn't you use the rest of the space?" I'm like, "Cause I didn't think about it."
Oh boy.
Dennis is so focused.
He's in it to win it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, we're winning something? What's the prize here?
Lunch.
We're winning lunch?
Bragging rights?
So he
Can
said
you
that-
imagine if I threw Sideshow under the bus and I'm like, so we're playing for a full-size R2-D2, right? Right? We all agreed on that? Full-size R2-D2?
You guys signed it. It's on air.
Whoever wins, right? We all agreed to that.
And just keep in mind that the chat room, I believe, is going to take a look at your drawings. They're going to vote on their favorite.
Oh boy.
So you got to impress the chat.
Minute left.
Minute
Ooh,
left?
A minute.
What the heck?
Whoa.
The world is
I
unfair.
have to
Hold
draw
on.
ears still.
Oh no, I ran out of space. See, you were
Uh-oh.
complimenting my
Someone quick,
composition
get her a
skills,
second dry
and now-
erase
Yeah,
board.
I need like
We'll put them together.
a whole thing.
So focused. Beth, I can't wait to see yours because you've been laughing to yourself.
It's always good
From the
when your own
beginning.
drawing makes you laugh. You know your
Seconds,
own.
guys.
How many seconds?
25.
25 seconds.
25.
I'm going to do the stage thing. Thank you, 25.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't
Professional.
want that on there. I have to erase. Oh boy.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
No, no.
It's
With
like
25
the
seconds, Dennis is erasing.
It's the curveball.
No erasing at this point. You can't turn back.
Cross it out, cross it out. 5 seconds?
Yeah.
No.
3,
No.
2, 1.
Oh boy.
Markers
Yeah.
down,
Oh,
please.
markers down.
All right, let's cap them. And should we do a simultaneous reveal or should we do one at a time? So let's start with Dave first. Don't give your character yet because maybe we should have the chat take a look and they can speculate
Oh
and
boy.
then we'll
You
reveal.
sure about that?
So,
I don't
all right,
know.
I'll do the reveal first, and then we'll say the name. Well, okay.
Yeah, that's.
I want to say my
Oh
proudest
my
work
gosh.
ever. It's gorgeous. It's drawn at 1-to-1 scale. You're going to see the articulation is amazing. I can show it at a 3D level. No.
Oh my gosh.
So do I now reveal what it is?
Yes,
Now that
please.
so it is a alien on a pogo stick. And I added in the onomatopoeia of tabonka, tabonka,
Tabonka,
tabonka,
tabonka,
tabonka.
tabonka.
So there we go. That's
Amazing.
mine.
Professional cartoonist.
There we go. All
So
right. Oh wow!
good.
I lost. All right. Well, good.
Oh my
A
gosh!
woolly mammoth. Oh, sorry. I'm not.
What? What? Did Beth just win?
So he's skating into our hearts and our homes. Our woolly mammoth on rocket-powered roller skates.
Nice.
Oh my gosh,
Nice.
that's so good.
What a
Okay.
dot for the cap I have to give that. That's great.
Right.
Jeez. Dennis,
All
are
right.
you ready?
Come on, Dennis.
Yep.
We live
So nothing says
Whoa.
fierce.
Whoa.
Nothing says
That's really good.
scary and yet heroic at the same
him.
time.
Is that
Like a rhinoceros
Yes.
with bees as a beard.
I feel like that would win in a fight for sure.
that is amazing.
I love how the rhinoceros also wisely chose a superhero outfit that has an R. Just
Right,
to reinforce,
yes,
like,
just-
hey, in case you weren't
let's-
sure that I'm a
let's
rhinoceros.
reinforce this.
So when he fights crime, we're gonna put a backstory on that one. When he fights crime, he can send out the bees and
Right.
they like
That's
come
right.
back
Right.
later and organize and
Right.
everything.
That's right.
Kind of like his lazy move.
Wasn't
Yeah.
I
there
don't feel
a
like
Marvel
moving.
character that was
Amazing.
made up entirely of bees? What was that? Wasn't there a Marvel Comics villain that
Is
was
there?
entirely of bees? It was like a... Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm great at
probably.
parties, everybody. I don't remember the name of the character.
Somebody in the chat would tell us if they know. That's like really amazing.
This is a fun fight. I like
I
this.
think that Dennis and I would be very willing to say well done to Beth when she
No,
wins
I think-
this.
Congratulations, Beth.
I think Beth is a
your
dot for the
bees,
cap
I
here.
think we're.
Okay.
I mean, this would be an interesting fight where we got like a bouncy guy. This guy's rolling around in circles, not being able to control his.
I love that we
Yeah.
all had options to pick, and these are the ones we
Yeah.
picked.
Yeah, this
Yeah, I
was this
wanna
was
know
the
what else
best
you
one.
My other descriptions were it has tiny T-Rex arms and wearing a flaming tutu. So
Oh,
like
has
all
tiny
three
T-Rex
of them
arm.
could
Yeah,
have been fun.
yeah.
So we have
Yeah.
a winner by a lance.
Oh no.
Oh.
Okay.
Nobody can beat a woolly man.
I will echo that one. That's great. Good work.
Lunch
work.
for Beth at Sideshow.
I appreciate
Lunch-
that.
Lunch
Thank
for
you.
Beth.
Lunch for Beth.
So we are going
Dave and I
to
did it.
actually do one more round.
Oh,
All right.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well,
Now we'll see how good this eraser is.
yeah, erasing this fine piece of artwork here.
Bonus if you can erase the fastest.
It's gonna be
You
a
get
bidding
dessert.
war
You
between
know how many bees I
DC
drew?
and Marvel for this woolly
There
man.
was a lot of bees. A lot of bees.
Now you can just.
For everyone who ever went to grade school, this eraser is like the kind of erasers that would just smudge the pencil around.
Kinda all over
Yeah,
the
just
place.
like I'm gonna move the lead
It's
over
like you have
here.
shading
I'm
ready
not gonna,
for your
yeah.
next
Yeah, it's
masterpiece.
not a
that's-
toned backing now.
I'll
Yeah.
get this going by grabbing 3 from the center.
Alright.
1,
Perfect.
2, just in case they didn't get reshuffled.
This is so
3.
fun, and I
Pass
would
that
never
to
want to
you.
draw next to you guys.
I'm gonna split the deck.
I want this as a party game all the time.
Right?
Although it's way more fun to do drawing party games with artists because then there isn't the trash talk of like, I'm not a good artist. We're like, just draw, just
Do
draw.
it. Doesn't
do it,
matter.
yeah.
Just draw.
So I'm going to cheat and start looking at mine.
Yeah, let's get this.
Because
Multitasking.
I'm already looking forward to losing to Beth on this next round.
Start picking your
All right,
characters.
let's see.
Oh, I mean, come on. I'm gonna go vertical for this one.
Ooh. Like Instagram.
Yeah.
All right, I got it.
All right.
Oh, it's so tense in the studio. It's so quiet.
Dun,
Is
dun,
everybody
dun.
ready?
Dun dun dun.
All right.
Serious business.
We're gonna put.
All my cards
Oh wait,
just-
hold on.
Whatever. They can stay down
Technicality.
there.
All right, we're gonna put 2 minutes back on the clock,
2 minutes. Oh.
and we're gonna draw in 3, 2, 1, start. Really need that music. Sam, find his music.
Ready, go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I really like the back hearing stuff.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna peek at what Dave didn't use. Can I say what he didn't use?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
He didn't use, the two characters were You passed these up. I'm really curious to see what you're drawing. He passed up Sasquatch and a cheetah.
Nice.
And the attribute cards are armed with a chainsaw or throws fireballs.
Nice.
A Sasquatch throwing fireballs would be hilarious.
Or cheetah with a chainsaw. That's scary.
Which,
Very scary.
yeah, which
Out of
opposable
all the
thumb are you
characters,
gonna
do not
use?
give a chainsaw. Cheetah,
To
probably.
cheetah. Just strap it on the cheetah's back and like have the cheetah just run. Just run into a mass of zombies. How much time do we have left on the clock?
A minute, 5 seconds.
Minute and 5 seconds.
Time passes by so fast.
the character I chose.
You got this.
I've made some bad artistic choices here, everybody. I gotta
Uh-oh.
say, I regret the path I've walked down.
Uh-oh.
But you know what? Once you've
just
chosen
gotta
a path,
commit
you
to
got to
it.
keep walking down that path. Well, while we're drawing, I should mention, by the way, that for all the Sideshow live audience, we're gonna do that book 30% off for anybody, for just you guys that are watching. So if you want to use the code, if you want to use the code Sideshow over at sheldonstore.com, you can grab that book or any other book of mine for 30% off.
Nice.
So
It's like it's Christmas.
it's like it's Christmas.
That you have to pay yourself.
20 seconds, guys.
As an adult, that's what I do for Christmas.
Yeah, right.
Like, I will buy this for myself for Christmas.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh,
10 seconds
10
left.
seconds left, you guys. Final touches. See some shading going on Dave's side. And markers down. All right, here we go. We're gonna start the reveal with Dave.
All right,
Move
so
your
this
board,
is
please.
yeah. I don't want to say
Oh
the
my
word
God.
terrible is on here, but all right. So this is ostensibly a wizard with a harpoon gun, but I chose to have the wizard having stolen Aquaman's trident.
Yes.
So Aquaman not happy about that. He's like, "Hey, I'm Aquaman. Hey, I'm Aquaman. Huh, I stole my trident." All right, so let's see what Beth's got here.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Octopus with a
Swinging a shark on a chain.
Oh my gosh,
A
that's
shark
so
on a
Wow.
chain.
You
brand.
know,
Holy smokes.
that's what they do.
I like
That's
how the
so
octopus has an
on-brand.
underbite. That's delightful.
He's very thrilled about his
If you can name your
Hobby.
octopus, what would you name your octopus?
Merle.
Nice.
Merle, nice. Good
Merle,
work.
Merle's
Good work.
got a shark pet. And
Right.
finally, Dennis.
So, it's a
Wow.
scary looking guy. I'll kind of let you look at it.
Zombie with a
Zombie
unicorn?
brain?
It is exactly that. A
Yes!
zombie with a unicorn horn.
Sure.
There we go.
It's the
Yeah.
most beautiful zombie
Does he
There you
have
go.
bees coming out of his mouth too?
That's just a few extra flies. Went through that motion. In the last
Leftover
drawing.
bees
Yeah.
from.
leftover
I do like the idea that you're now in your bee phase. You're
Yeah.
just including bees
It's
in
the
all your
bee
work.
period.
You're like,
that
yeah.
period of my life.
Yeah,
Everything is
just,
bees.
just sprinkle bees in everywhere. That's great.
them all from the last one.
So he saved a couple from the last one because he
That's
couldn't
right.
erase them.
Yep.
I like the brains caption on the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah, that's nice.
Bees.
Amazing.
That's pretty great.
So who would you think would win in this fight?
in this fight,
I don't know. Let's
I mean,
see.
is it a land fight or is it a water fight? Because we got a trident.
Well, Aquaman is kind of included in Dave's.
Yeah.
Right? A zombie doesn't really need air.
Or is Aquaman controlling the
That's true.
situation?
That's true.
We just
Aqua-
created our own artist universe.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
within
In
the
this
three drawings.
in this
And
cinematic
Gandalf
universe,
is really concerned about what's happening.
Gandalf. It is kind of Gandalf, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, I didn't do that.
I've made a terrible error.
Where are my hobbits?
Yeah, my thought, I guess, like, if we're going on the emotional journey here, Gandalf had broken his staff, needed a new staff. I mean, I think the story
And
writes
now
itself.
Aquaman is
and now
coming after
Aquaman.
him with his octopus and shark.
There we go. And so Gandalf clearly going to lose on this
Yeah.
one.
There you go.
And then I think the zombie's just off to the side looking as pretty as he can look.
Like,
with
I
his new horn.
ate some flies and some bees.
Yeah.
And they're powering my magical unicorn.
What's great about the pose of that zombie, too, it also looks like he's kind of quietly serenading, not just necessarily
Yeah.
saying
Yeah,
brains,
yeah.
He's having a.
brains. You know, that kind of thing,
Brains.
yeah.
He's singing a. Yeah.
It's a musical zombie.
I have to say my favorite comment is that is what happens when a zombie eats a narwhal.
Nice. Nice, that's good work.
And also the fighting is pretty vicious. It is like
Ooh.
a three-way brawl.
Ooh.
Wow.
All right.
Really?
Come out on top.
Wow.
I mean,
Ooh.
there are votes for everybody.
I mean, you guys, lunch for all of you here at Sideshow.
Yeah.
That's, you
No
know what,
one
that's great.
goes home
Guys,
hungry.
lunch on us.
A chicken in every pot here at Sideshow. This is great.
No one will go hungry ever again.
That's right. That's right.
Oh man.
Dennis has pulled ahead.
Oh.
What? You know what, Dennis?
It's the flies.
Wow.
Nicely
Well,
That is
bonus points
amazing,
for the
Dennis.
flies.
You're-
Amazing.
Wow.
I love the idea too that you're gonna put your head on your pillow tonight, going like, "You did a good job today, Dennis. You did a good job. You did a good job. You know what, Dennis?
You
did
really
all right."
should make
What-
a comic about your.
what
your
will I do
unicorn
tomorrow?
horn
Yeah.
Zombie. There's your new property.
Right. There you go. Copyright Sideshow.
Paul Hernandez has said if you sign it, he's gonna come up right now and come get it.
Oh.
From our
From
customer
customer
Yeah, yeah,
service.
yeah.
Nice.
That's great.
Not that he's not working.
Don't you
Quick,
wait
somebody,
till
quick,
you
somebody
take
make
pictures
a
of
make a
these.
make a price tag for Dennis, so by the time he gets here, that's great. Just write
There
$45
you go.
on the bottom there. That's great.
A price tag.
Let's get you a free tank of gas. $4,500.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Don't
great.
undersell yourself.
Whoa.
No
There we
negotiations,
go.
guys.
Somebody's college is getting paid for today.
I had
There's one class of college.
illustration in
one
So
textbook.
sad, but true.
one time I had an illustration in an art gallery, an art show once, and they said you have to price it. I'm like, well, I don't really want to sell it. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sell it. It's $1 million. And I had
Someone bought it.
yeah, one of the higher ups here at Sideshow text me, I'm interested.
You see?
Yeah.
Life
Sold.
advice for everyone
Never happened
watching
though.
today.
Never happened.
Yeah.
The audience would like a name for the zombie unicorn.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, that's fair.
Think about it. He looks.
Do we want to say future Dennis? Is that
Yeah, I don't know. Horny Death.
There you go.
There it
Oh,
is.
yeah, there we go.
Something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
There it
I
is.
like it.
Yeah.
Is it a three-way tie?
No, Dennis.
Dennis-
Dennis-
Dennis,
Yay!
all right.
Yay!
Bravo.
Did it.
Oh my gosh, you guys, don't erase those because I think we should take pictures of those later on. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank
Oh
you
my gosh,
to
yeah.
So fun.
Dennis for joining on the fun.
Sure
That
thing.
was
Yeah,
amazing.
Dennis,
We
you
love
did
your
it.
unicorn zombie. You guys, if you want to check out Dave and Beth's work, don't forget to go to sheldoncomics.com. Can you guys actually talk a little bit quickly about Sheldon and Drive
sure.
as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So Sheldon is an all-ages comic strip, kind of in the newspaper tradition, a nerdier, geekier version of a kind of Calvin and Hobbes type of thing. There's 4,000 strips free to read in the archives, and that's at sheldoncomics.com. And then I have a long-form storyline, which I frankly think that the Sideshow crowd might enjoy more, called Drive. It's kind of humorous characters embedded in a serious, epic sci-fi story, kind of Dune meets Hitchhiker's Guide kind of a thing. And that's at drivecomic.com. And I highly recommend them both. I think you'll like them. Best colors are great on them.
Thanks.
There are book collections of all of them over at sheldonstore.com. And that's the short version of them.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
And
yeah.
tell us what more info about your documentary film, Stripped.
Yeah, so Strip you can catch that on anywhere that you get a film, from Apple to Google to it's no longer on Netflix, but I think you can get it over at stripfilm.com is if you'd like to buy the high-res download version. So it's
really good.
it's an hour and a half. We culled down from 300 hours of interviews with cartoonists from all over North America. And I'm super proud of it. I think you'll dig it. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And for all of our viewers who are watching today, where can they find you on social media for the both of you so they can kind of keep updated with what you're doing next?
Absolutely. You go first.
Twitter, Instagram is Beth is something, only one S in there because there's
That
too
is
many
something.
letters.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And I'm Twitter and Instagram. I am at Dave Kellett, which is has 2 L's, 2 T's in Kellett. So those are the ones for us. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Well,
That's
this
very
was
nice of
so
you.
fun. I wish you could just draw all day long. I would maybe join in.
I know,
next time
although
if we
this
come
has
back.
me making second thoughts
Yep.
about my cartooning career.
No, I
know.
think I
No,
think you should
don't
go
do that.
a whole week in Sheldon about Gandalf meets.
Gandalf
Aquaman.
steals Aquaman's.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I mean that frankly is in the wheelhouse of what a
It's not
Sheldon,
bad.
a week of Sheldon would be like. Yeah, I could make a week out of that. That's
And
great.
thus, ideas are born.
Yeah, if you want to see the process, that's how you do it. Yeah, exactly.
Follow him on his social media. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
That was so much fun.
That's great. Thank
That's
you all.
fun. What a great-
everyone. Today we're going to be sharing our favorite books that we read over the summer. And I will go first. My favorite book is from DC Comics, Supervillains. It has a foreword by the Kevin Smith, which is awesome. And it goes through all the backstories and histories of the evil baddies from DC. I know, exciting, right? And I also want to show you my favorite page, which is Evil Overlords. All right? Okay. So the next person up to share, and I'm gonna call out your names. Please be organized, and don't throw your books at me because that's a no-no. We're gonna be calling on Andy. Andy,
Yeah,
what was your favorite book?
my favorite was the DC Comic variant covers. It has some of the finest variant covers ever produced.
Wow. All right, we're gonna pop this bad boy open. Look, I have the luck. That's awesome.
Wow.
Nice. All right. Next up, we have Bree.
My favorite book
My favorite book.
was The Anatomy of a Metahuman, because inside The Anatomy of a Metahuman, Batman discusses his theories on the anatomies of his metahuman friends, including both his allies and his enemies.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna turn this book around so you can see. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. If you actually see a detail shot, it's got the whole skeleton underneath. Awesome. All right, wait. Let's flip open. Whoa, that's pretty gross. All right, but cool. All right, thank you, Bree.
Me.
Chris P.
I have James Cameron's story of science fiction.
Oh, I love that one.
And it's all about the masters of science fiction, including people like George Lucas and Guillermo del Toro.
Nice. Look, there's a shot with one of the directors in the back. That is awesome. Random page flip over.
Oh,
how appropriate!
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Okay, that is awesome. James Cameron's story of science fiction. Right.
Okay, me.
Andrew, we discussed this.
Me?
You shout out. Okay, Andrew, let's go.
My favorite is the Game of Thrones storyboard book, and it has really fantastic behind-the-scenes footage, pictures, and
Slip
concept
cover.
art.
That's awesome. Okay. Oh,
Spooky.
that's cool. It's got a gloss hit on the back of the book. That's pretty cool.
Open it.
Let's see it.
Open it. Random cover. Random cover. Oh, that's cool.
It's Arya. It's Arya.
That's awesome. All right, I'm gonna put this back before I mangle it. All right, next, Chrissy.
The Art of Mondo is my choice because it compiles the remarkable back catalog of Mondo Studios and features some of the biggest and best loved pop culture franchises.
Nice. Zombies. I have like the good page draw today. Right? Very cool stuff.
Do another one.
All right, so we're gonna have a double flip. Let's see if I'm equally as lucky.
I love that.
All right, that was Mondo, The Art of Mondo. There we go. And I think
I have
Amy,
2 books because they
Two
go
books?
together. These are the World of Warcraft and Hearthstone official cookbooks that feature.
You don't get extra credit for this.
Oh, okay. They feature recipes from across the realm of Azeroth, whether you fight for the Horde or for the Alliance.
Nice. Now, I always think that when I get a cookbook that can cook in like 5 minutes, I feel like I can just skip some instructions. Whoa.
That's for grown-ups.
I don't think that's appropriate.
Beneath
for
the
class.
coffee grounds. That is awesome. I'm like telling you, I'm picking all the pages today. Awesome. We're going to leave that here. World of Warcraft official cookbook. Ready? Wait, I got stew?
Try again.
Can't win
Do
them all.
it again.
I was going for the chicken on the
find a
front. That'd be
cake.
roast.
Okay.
That is the chocolate cookies. Does it have a name? Oh my gosh, that is cool. Little skirt in there and everything.
I thought those were pointy horns.
Is it? No, I think they're horns. We'll have to look. I think they're horns. They're not, yeah. It's part of the, I think it's like a creature or something. That's pretty cool. All right, thank you, Amy. Now I'm hungry, darn it. Awesome, and we have Robert. Yeah, I was gonna leave you out. All right, what you got?
One of the founding members of Industrial Light and Magic explains how scenes in beloved models were brought to life in Sculpting a Galaxy inside the Star Wars model shop.
And I am gonna turn this around because it's got a beautiful picture.
Oh!
Isn't that cool? Nice. All right, we're gonna do a couple of random page opens on this. Like a classic, right? Ah, yes, Oregon. Nice sound effects. That's awesome. All right, we're gonna have one more page turn. Nice. You can't get better than that, right? Awesome. That is Sculpting a Galaxy inside the Star Wars model shop. Thank you, Robert. Awesome. We're gonna put this right here. Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing your favorite books. I appreciate you guys took the time out of your workday. And if you'd like to see why we love these books we chose over the summer, please go to the link below at side.show/readinsight. Again, that's side.show/readinsight. Yes, I promise snacks. Yes, you will get snacks. So we're gonna go for a quick food break and we'll be right back. Back. It's Wendy and Josh sitting at the same table. So before we go, we have so many giveaways going on right now. So we just want to make sure that we let you know what they are, give you a little bit of rundown so you don't miss out on anything. So to kick this off, and also all of the links to these contests are going to be dropped in the live chat, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But first up, yes, you guys, you can still win the sold out Batman Premium format figure by Sideshow through Gleam. And there are over 20 ways to enter each, offering 1 through 50 entries, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
But Josh, that's not all.
But I don't know if I like this or not.
If you refer your friend, you can actually get 500 entries per friend who
that's
actually.
Awesome.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
like, so like don't refer just one friend. Refer 5 because that's a lot of 500.
You're gonna climb right to the top.
And this contest ends on Thursday, August 29th at midnight.
Great. We're also giving away a Badali Jewelry Bone Faction medallion from Court of the Dead. That is a contest that's through Gleam. Over 30 ways to enter. Some options for entry actually require an internet scavenger hunt. Yes, you heard me right. A super cool internet scavenger hunt where you got to go check it out, find it. And the nice thing about internet is there's not creepy clowns popping out in front of you and scaring you. So
no thanks.
I actually prefer an internet scavenger hunt versus a real one because I can't get lost. I can't be attacked. So there's a lot of challenges to real scavenger hunt, but online, you're good to go. So, we've also got, in this contest, you can refer your friends, and you will get 300 entries per friend who enters. So make sure to refer your friends, because that's a ton of entries, okay? The contest ends Tuesday, August 27th at 10 a.m., so don't miss it.
Oops, sorry about that. I didn't mean to step all over you. What you were saying, it ends on Tuesday, 27th at 10 a.m., just in case you missed it, because I interrupted Josh. So finally, you can, he's like, what? Why am I even sitting here? I'm sorry. You can also win a Mad Titan Gold Edition by Joe Delegata, also through Gleam. And there's not as many ways to enter, but that's okay because you will still win 1,000 entries for every friend you refer. So make sure you check the links that's being dropped by Buffy in the chat. and enter those contests
Yeah.
and win your stuff.
She's dropping it like it's hot. Call up all your friends, get them all invested, so you can get those extra bonus points. That's important. So
yeah. We had such a full show today.
We did.
I mean, we did. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thanks for doing all the geek headlines. That was so much fun.
That was. Again, I'm Josh S. Basically just pretending to be Josh G today. It's totally fine. You know, I'm doing my best, okay, in disguise. So
when Josh G comes back, it's only fair if I call him Josh S.
I think so.
So I would just
bring some fake earrings and he'll look just like me. So I'll be good to go.
There it is.
Yeah.
We also want to thank our special guest today, Simon Harding from New Zealand Mint. We want to thank Dave Kellett and Beth Reidmiller, and also Dennis for joining us on the SuperFight game.
Yeah, that was super exciting.
But also don't forget about Facebook group.
Yes, Dave is going to be giving away one of his new books on the Facebook page that's only for exclusive members, so make sure you check that out. That's going down at 1:15. So hit that up at 1:15. Go try to get your free book, and he's going to be there. And so that's
Doing some unboxing stuff, looking at figures. I believe it was, let me just scroll back up. We're going to talk about it. He's going to be looking at the Advanced Suit Spider-Man in Facebook group, so don't miss it. Well, you guys, is that our show?
I think that's it.
That's our show.
I think we're good.
We did it.
Tune in next time, and don't forget to let your
Geek Side show.